right, Susan, our official of the year, take us through your start, how you got into equestrian, what led you to go down this path and pursue it at such an elite level.
Well, I started very, very young, as you'd mentioned. I owned show horses, so I was competing, and I was approached by another official that had asked me if I'd be interested in looking into becoming an official. So I started mentoring with her and competing at the same time, and I kind of continued that all the way through my years, and little by little moved up through the ranks and gained my experience that way.
And equestrian being the only sport I know of where you're dealing with human beings and animals. Can you talk to us a little bit about that situation, having to navigate both worlds?
Well, definitely it's a different sport when you have to deal with an animal as well as an athlete. So we really have to focus on fair play for both that horse and that athlete. So we spend a lot of time making sure that we're maintaining a level playing field for all the equine athletes, being at certain footing that they might be in, and for the athletes that they're capable of continuing on with that horse into that sport. So it's a little different dealing with the two athletes, one being an animal.
I love that. It is so beautiful to watch the horses, yes, absolutely being athletes as well as our human competitors. It definitely looks and sounds like a bit of a tough job, especially for a volunteer. Do you have advice for anybody who's interested, maybe getting into the sport or furthering their development in the sport? Because it does seem like a huge undertaking.
We do have development programs right now welcoming anyone that might be interested in becoming an official. So we welcome anyone, and we can bring them to local competitions and show them what we're doing and what's involved. And from there, we can help them through the process of applying for becoming an official. And little by little, as they travel around with us, we can help them get into different competitions and encourage them that way.
Traveling is certainly something that you seem to be well versed in from your bio that we read. Do you have any, I'm sure they're all memorable, but do you have any really memorable competitions or events or trips taking place outside the province that you just had that moment where it hit you? I'm just so lucky and fortunate that I get to do this.
I would definitely say it was one of the World Cup qualifiers that I was at in California. We were, able to work with the best in the world, the best horses in the world that all had come from the Olympics and were competing for a World Cup qualifier. So to be part of that and make the entire competition a success and make sure that they were successful as well, it's a really big feeling of a team success because you're working with the organizer as well as the athletes and the sport.
And speaking of team, going through the ranks, did you have a mentor or somebody that you really leaned on that kind of showed you the ropes or supported you along your journey?
Well, I was very fortunate because I did a lot of traveling early on. So I met a lot of really amazing officials, and I took little bits and pieces from everyone that I worked with. So I didn't really have one mentor. I had many mentors that were at the top of the sport that really helped me end up at the top of the sport. And, there's no one that really stood out. Everybody, was great to work with, and I learned lots.
So you are the official of the year, 2025. When you look back on the 2024 season, was that highlight the World Cup, or is there another moment from 2024 that you can just look back on and think, this is going to be something that I'm going to remember for a long, long time?
There were many good moments. Like I said, I did a lot of really big international competitions, but I do think that the World Cup qualifier was the most special because we did have the best officials in the world. We had the top athletes and the top horses from the Olympics. So to be part of all of that, that was pretty special.
Well, you seem so wonderful, Susan. We want to thank you so much for your time and for being with us tonight. Is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to or anyone you would like to thank before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening?
It would have to be my husband, who, when I'm traveling, we have horses at home. So he has to take care of our four-legged family while I'm officiating around the world. So big shout out to my husband.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to Susan and Mr. Susan.
And I just want to say thank you to Sport Manitoba for putting together these awards, and of course Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries for supporting it as well. Thank you.